adopt a resolution opposing House Bill 7632 relating to age-appropriate design code sponsored by Council Roy. Council Roy, you have the floor.
Okay, so I understand how some people may feel about this bill or the resolution. But in reading through the legislation, I went through and I highlighted a bunch of things. And this bill is about protecting children, right?
Supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about protecting children from graphic content. It's about protecting them from predators. It's about protecting them from, keeping them innocent, things like that. I have went through this bill, and the reason why it is brought up now is because it was brought to my attention by another parent. So I said, I'll look at it and see what I can do. And in looking at it, originally I saw that whole portion that it is, where is it? Right here. And it is not in quotations. It is concisely written. The prohibition or prohibited
What page?
says, the last one is allow a known 41. Number 8 says allow a known child's parent or any other consumer to monitor the child's online activity or track the child's location without providing conspicuous. Now, do we all know what that means?
Conspicuous, yeah.
Yeah, that means you basically are not hiding. A conspicuous signal to the child when the child is being monitored or tracked. So, if I wanted to track my son, he would get a notification saying, hey, guess what? Your mom's tracking you. Okay? Now, that might deter him from doing something, but it also might make him leave his phone at home. Okay? If he didn't know that I was tracking him or had the ability, or when I was tracked, he would be a little less apt to do something because he wouldn't know when I was monitoring him.
You'd be wondering how you know.
Yeah, exactly. But if with this going through, he would know exactly when mom's tracking him.
This has nothing to do with age.
It has nothing to do with
This could be your
age.
6-year-old.
Yeah, this could be anyone. The wording is very generic. But what I've seen in this bill, throughout this bill, is talking about avoid any heightened risk and harm to children. Protects children with, sexual orientation, gender identity, all these things, These are what's important to risk of heightened, child harm and gender identity. Well, you know what? We had a bill last year that is very hypocritical to this one, and it was called the Freedom to Read Act, which allows pornographic material in schools. And I can tell you right now that through a website that is very reputable, there are 143 sexually explicit books in Charahoe High School. If you want to know about it, contact me. I'll give you the links. And you will not be happy with what your children have access to. I'm not talking about Anne Frank. I'm not talking about any of that stuff, okay? I'm talking about child-on-child gross stuff, okay? This is a public school. You want to do that in a library? Do it in a library. Get it out of school. Because we cannot monitor what the child is reading in school, okay? And it's very hypocritical because you want to protect children, but yet you want to allow them to read whatever they want in schools and have their eyeballs scarred for life. Okay? That I do not agree with. This is a hypocritical bill that is being put out because it is an election year. And I say this with my whole heart. I oppose this bill the way it's written as of right now. Does it have good intentions? Yes, I believe it does. However,
Then why does it take my parental rights away?
exactly, Bob. Thank you for saying so, because whether people want to believe it or not, this is a parental rights issue.
And 25.
Anything that says you cannot do something without this takes away the parent's right.
So it's a $2,500 fine on this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
Yes. So if
For-
I
for-
monitor my
I
child,
swear
For
they
a parent tracking their child.
I swear they throw stuff at the wall. and see
Which,
if it'll stick.
By the way, I'll tell you the truth. I don't have it on my phone. However, my wife still tracks my daughter, still tracks my 22-year-old daughter, who is now living somewhere else and is pregnant, who don't get me wrong, comes home.
my problem with
loving
it,
family.
Bob, is that the child needs to get a conspicuous notification that they're being tracked by
That's my
their own
phone. I pay
parent.
for that child. I had that child.
Exactly.
My child don't have a right at 14 years old to tell me I cannot track her.
Your wife's tracking you too.
I'm sure, she-
So-
I'm sure she is.
especially goes and looks at vehicles.
Well, if that's the case, then she needs a $2,500 fine.
So when I say this, it's not to be, confrontational or
There-
anything like
There
that.
are some good things in this.
There is, I
I'm
do
sorry.
agree.
So I have to.
I do agree.
with you. There are some great things in here
Right,
that protect children.
absolutely. But my resolution is gonna talk about the
No,
parental right
your
part.
resolution opposing this is to find out of why
Exactly.
We are.
it is. We're not opposing
The whole
the
thing.
entire bill. We are opposing certain verbiage of the
Absolutely,
bill.
absolutely.
There is a fine line there.
There is.
Now, don't get me wrong, somebody wants to rewrite this, somebody wants to come sit down and have a coffee with me, I'll be more than happy.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and read.
But as is,
Read your,
the town of Hopkinton's resolution in opposition of House Bill 7632 relating to age-appropriate design code. Whereas the Rhode Island House Bill 7632, known as Age-Appropriate Design Code, seeks to regulate online services that are reasonably likely to be accessed by children. And whereas the bill includes a provision prohibiting covered online services from allowing a known child's parent or guardian to monitor the child's online activity or track the child location unless the child receives a conspicuous signal that such monitoring is taking place. Whereas the provisions would significantly restrict parents' guardian ability to exercise their fundamental responsibility to safeguard their child's well-being, particularly in situations involving online exploitation, grooming, cyberbullying, or any other digital threats that often rely on secrecy to persist. And whereas children, especially young minors, may not fully understand the risk associated with online interactions, nor possess the maturity to consent meaningfully to the disclosure of parental monitoring. And whereas requiring a conspicuous signal that monitoring is occurring may unintentionally alert potential bad actors who have gained access to a child's device or account, thereby undermining the protective purpose of the parental oversight. And whereas the parents and guardians are legally and morally responsible for the child safety of their children, and state policy should not impede their ability to fulfill that duty. Whereas the bill's monitoring notification requirement may conflict with existing child protection practices, including those recommended by law enforcement, child safety organizations, and cybersecurity experts who emphasize discrete parental supervision as a critical tool for preventing harm. Whereas the bill risks creating legal uncertainty for parents, educators, and service providers by imposing ambiguous obligations that could discourage the use of widely accepted parental control tools. Whereas while the goal of protecting children online is essential and widely supported, House Bill 7632's approach may unintentionally weaken child safety rather than strengthen it. Therefore it be resolved that the undersigned expresses strong opposition to the Rhode Island House Bill 7632 in its current form. And be it further resolved that any legislative legislation addressing children's online safety should affirm and preserve the ability of parents and guardians to monitor their children's digital activity without mandatory disclosure that could compromise protective efforts. And be it further resolved that lawmakers are urged to revise House Bill 7632 to ensure that child safety measures empower families, align with the best practice and digital protection and avoid creating barriers to effective parental oversight. Be it finally resolved that the resolution be transmitted to the members of the Rhode Island General Assembly and formal expression of opposition to House Bill 7632 in a call for more balanced parent-affirming child safety legislation.
So we want to make a motion?
I have one more comment first, if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead.
So you just read a sentence out that I found in there after discussion. This bill risks creating legal uncertainty for parents, educators, and service providers. So what I read in that as a person who's been through the foster system, okay, so any social worker, any counselor, any teacher, we're sitting here talking about teachers' rights in the school, blah, 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 the whole nine yards. Not only are you trying to take your parental rights away from monitoring this, you're also taking the teachers. So the number one thing, I don't know if everybody's familiar with the Charahoe computer program. Every student has a laptop, right? Well, they have thousands of them in a closet, and please let this publicly known. When your student goes from the middle school to the high school, they don't get a new laptop. They still keep the old laptop. Why? Because it doesn't support their control system on that laptop. For them to be able to monitor what your child is looking at, what they're studying, and pulling up on that computer. There's been a big controversy of going out and buying your child a brand new laptop and personally bringing it to the school, but it has to be a specific one that the school can monitor and put their program on to know what your child's into.
It'd be like one of our computers. If we wanted to have our own computers, we'd have to go out through. this,
Which was that discussion was had here about
Yep.
that situation. So how are we going to support this? Fight our teachers, fight our own parental rights. Somebody want to change the language in this? Like I said, I'll get behind it. I will get behind a lot of things in this.
Yeah.
As of right now, the way it's written, I cannot get behind it. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that, Bob, and
It
I'm right
takes
there
too
with
much
you.
help behind.
I make a motion.
You can't, oh, yeah, you can make a motion. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I make a motion that we accept this resolution opposing House Bill 7632 relating to age-appropriate design code.
Second.
Motion for a second. Opposed? Abstains? All in favor?
Roy, aye.
Burns eye.
Billy sign.
Davis, I.
Gary, aye. Excellent.